You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Oh yeah, baby, that's lovely.
We now wander off the beaten path with an update from the Reefer Reporter.
Hello and welcome to the Reefer Reporters. It's March the 7th, 2022, and we are live here from the Legacy420.com news desk on the People Advocating Cannabis Education. Now, 2 Pace Plus will be podcasted at paceradio.net. Good morning, Reverend Kelly. How are we doing today?
Good morning, Al. I love that music.
You like that, eh?
That new music, the new rock and roll music. Every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I love that new music.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like it.
Better now that I can hear it.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy, what is it? Snowing, raining, sleet, a little bit of everything, but sunshine today. What do you think?
I know. I don't know, but I know that it's just going to wash away the snow. So that's good.
Bye,
snow.
Bye, snow.
Bye. We've had enough of you. Come
springtime. Hello, flooded basements.
I know. Sorry about that.
Oh, I don't have a flooded basement. Okay. I'm good. No floods here.
Okay.
It's good here. We're lucky.
Right. Yes.
We're on a hill.
Good. No flooded basements for you.
That's right. Not anyway. Not while we've been here, anyways. So.
Good.
First up, before we get into the news, I just want to update people on last week. Last week we were talking about I was going to be speaking before the local council, which I did. I spoke to them for 3 minutes, and I was joined by another fellow who followed after me. It was done through Zoom, so when I was done speaking, I was taken out of the room, put into the lobby end of things.
Okay.
And then when he was done speaking, we were sort of the call was disconnected. So I didn't know what had happened, transpired. So I had to go to the YouTube account to watch what happened. Basically, I was speaking to the council about trying to get them to opt in because one of the councillors had decided to put a motion forward to do so.
Yes.
Who had previously decided not to in other votes.
Right. Wonderful.
So this motion was put forward. I spoke on it. He spoke on it, and then when I watched the YouTube recording of it, the mayor asked the motioner to speak to their motion, and at that point, they said due to rumors around town that they were doing this for political gain, she was pulling her motion.
Oh no!
Yeah, correct.
That's terrible.
So it never even got voted on. So now
that's terrible news.
Yeah.
But what even if she was doing it for political gain? It's a wonderful thing to be doing it. Well, overall, it's good.
If she did it a year ago, would somebody have said she was doing it for political gain?
What difference does it make?
All it needed was somebody to say that, and it just
But what difference? It's cannabis. Let's get it in there. No,
that's what I told them. It's not going anywhere.
What difference does it make? Oh, that's terrible. Well, thank you for speaking up, Al.
So we'll see what happens. There's an election down the road, and
you never stop there, Al. You always keep going.
Keep going.
I can't wait to see what you're going to do next.
I've got something going on.
I have a feeling you do.
Well, hey, it's all about, for me anyways, because of the stores. The survey says 53% of the people who use the stores do so for medical purposes, and I'm all about medical access.
Ooh, and that is so important. Medical access, medical cannabis in our country.
Exactly. And to start off with the news, we're talking about medical access, so here we go.
Yep.
And that is the fact that the medical access is a medical cannabis access survey that is out there for patients and others to fill out right now.
Yes, this is amazing. Is this the very first time that this has been out since adult use, recreational legalization? I think so. This is the first time that medical cannabis has really been looked at in the past few years since legalization.
Yeah, correct. Now, I did this survey last week. And it basically tells you that they're collecting this information because the government is coming up with a review on the medical program in 2023.
Wonderful, wonderful. Year away.
So you have to start collecting that information. And as you can see, it's being done McGill University, the University of Manitoba, She Can, Santa Cannabis, Chantel Oro, who's involved with that. She used to be here on the network.
Wow.
Medical Cannabis Canada is involved in there. So they want to take this information and submit it to the government.
Excellent.
And it takes about 30 minutes to fill out the survey.
You've done it?
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay.
I did
Okay.
as soon as I saw it, I did. Hey, I
Absolutely.
know about medical cannabis access.
Yep.
And that was my theme with my speech to council.
Okay.
And here I am today, bringing this as the first story today.
Excellent. Thank you for
So,
sharing that. I'm looking forward to doing it myself.
yeah. Now, anybody who's looking to do this survey, don't know where to find it. The medical cannabis survey.ca is the website, or you can find it on the Facebook walls. I've shared it there as well.
Yep.
And I've asked one of the people that's involved in the survey to be in a future Pace radio show so we can learn more about it.
Oh, how wonderful. Now, you have to be 16 years or older to be able to do the survey, and a Canadian or permanent resident.
Correct. Exactly. Interested in or currently taking cannabis for medical purposes, including those through recreational sources since 2018.
Excellent.
These are the people who can participate in it as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. If you're interested in or currently supporting someone like a parent or a legal guardian, a spouse, partner, or even a housemate with cannabis for medical purposes, you can take the survey as well.
Yeah. 15 to 30 minutes to fill it out. If you want to, you can enter a contest to win a $50 Visa gift card.
Whoa, that's good. That's enticing.
Yes, it is.
I would, if I won it, I would spend it on cannabis.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, and as you can see, it's been approved by University of Manitoba.
I love
McGill
that.
University as well as approved this. And they say,
Beautiful.
why are they doing this?
The aim is to, it's the surveys to understand Canadians' experiences that are related to medical cannabis access in Canada and how access to medical cannabis can be improved.
Yep, this report will be submitted, as I said, to Health Canada during the proposed review of the Cannabis Act that is scheduled in 2023.
Love it.
Yeah, so there you go. You go to the website, you can
Yep.
fill it out, and get your opinion involved.
Ooh, look at that. You want to be involved with future research.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
That's
can
it.
research me. I'll give them some research.
I said, yeah. Give me a shout.
Yeah.
So
I'll fill out a survey.
Let's hope that lots of people fill out this survey and get the information to these people who are getting it directly to the government.
100%.
All righty. Up next, let's see what we got going on here. Oh yes, I remember. I gotta line it up. I got a little bit behind here. We're talking.
No problem.
Just give me a second. There we go. 2 Canadian cannabis firms get Nasdaq extensions to regain compliance, according to MJ Biz Daily.
They have. They've each been granted a 6-month extension by the Nasdaq to regain compliance after their respective stock prices fell below the exchange's minimum bid rule.
The company's Calgary headquartered Sundial growers and the Quebec-based Neptune Wellness Solutions had been warned that their shares weren't meeting the stock exchange's listing standards.
Sundial and Neptune are listed on the Nasdaq as SNDL and NEFT, respectively. The Nasdaq requires issuers to maintain a minimum bid price of at least $1 per share.
So obviously theirs is below that. Both companies received letters last summer warning of the non-compliance, and according to the stock exchange's list of non-compliance issuers.
Okay, so Sundial has until August 8th of this year to regain compliance, meaning that the bid price for the company's shares must close or at or above $1 for a minimum of 10 consecutive trading days.
Yep, Neptune has until August the 29th. The shares will continue to be traded on the exchange in the meantime, they say.
Oh, so in a news release, Sundial said it has given written assurance to the Nasdaq that it, if necessary, will implement available options to regain compliance with the minimum bid price requirement, including a reverse stock split. What's a reverse stock split?
I haven't got a clue.
That does not sound good.
That sounds like something like they would take. I don't know what it means, but I'm just going to assume that maybe they take that stock and they divide it in half. So and create some
Maybe.
value out of it.
Sounds sneaky.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
A little bit sneaky.
All right. Let's see. Neptune it received its license to process cannabis in January of 2019, so it's not very old. And its cannabis sales license in June of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it talks about our favorite Hexo Corporation. They were put on Nasdaq's list of non-compliance issuers in January. They were given 180 calendar days to regain compliance.
Yeah.
Did they do it? Have they
Yeah,
done it
yeah,
yet?
they did. Yeah,
Yeah, they did? Okay.
they did, but now there's something else going there on the Hexo thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with other Tilray's getting involved with them. I don't think we've got that covered today.
And
We might cover that.
they've got the green light to do the reverse stock split, the sneaky. They're going to do the
Yeah,
sneaky too.
yeah.
You guys, what's
Hey,
going on? Lower
what's
your
going
cannabis
on?
prices, and
Okay.
then people will buy more cannabis, and you won't have to do this.
Well, that's the
That's my
thing,
plan
eh?
for them.
Yeah. Better products. All
25
right.
cents a gram, right?
Yeah, exactly. Next up. Says here that private online pot sales begin in Alberta on Tuesday.
Ooh, yes. The Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis is exiting the digital market after the provincial government made the legal change last year.
Yeah, but according to Matthew Anderson with cannabis retailer Fire and Flower, it's not as simple for the business to begin selling and citing regulatory hurdles.
He said that's why Fire and Flower will not be entering online sales immediately.
It's causing us to pause, he says. Why?
Cannabis retailers must have an endorsement to their license from the AGLC for online sales, and these stores must also have a physical retail store in order to get the license.
Yeah. In a statement, the AGLC said it is also businesses' responsibilities to ensure that age gating is in place, a process that needs to go beyond requiring a potential customer to enter a date of birth before gaining access to the website. Yeah, it needs to, like really,
Yeah.
age gating the way it's set up right now.
Yeah, I know. Click this button.
Yeah, I just shake my head at it. Like,
Yeah.
why put it there?
What are we gonna do? Facial recognition now?
Yeah, maybe.
If you have a beard or wrinkles, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so where are we? Additionally, licensed retailers that sell online will have criteria to include on their website so that consumers can verify that the website is associated with a valid licensee.
Yeah, the AGLC also introduced a 6% markup to the wholesale price of the cannabis products late in February. Oh.
Yeah. Even as a larger retail chain, we are questioning the economic viability of online sales, Anderson said. So I would be much more challenged if I was a smaller retailer.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses will need to source delivery methods, either a direct employee or using Canada Post or a courier. Well, obviously, Canada Post isn't going to get it there today.
No, no. Next day, maybe, but
Maybe.
yeah, maybe. High Tide's Andy Palalis said the online market is a game changer for his Canada-wide company, eager to get delivering as soon as possible.
Yeah, he says that we've proven in other provinces that we can operate online sales and home delivery in a safe and secure manner, which is really the talking point around rolling this out.
Now, Palalis said with about 60 stores in Alberta, he's glad the province is no longer an outlier with online sales compared to other provinces.
Yeah, he explained that we've been operating in Ontario through delivery since the beginning of the pandemic. More time for Albertas to roll out is always nice, but we're eager to get going.
Of course. Now, as of February 23rd, the AGLC had yet to issue any endorsements for online sites. Global News reached out for an updated number of endorsements on Thursday.
Yeah, once an endorsement is granted, the licensee is able to launch its online store on or after March the 8th.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Right.
March the 8th, that's tomorrow. You can start.
Happening in Alberta.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Now, this next story.
Oh, this one.
I know I saw this and went, really? And I guess so, eh? And
Yep.
that is that large or break-ins in Toronto. Let's get that banner out of the way there. Large quantities of cannabis products taken during break-ins in Toronto dispensaries, according to police. Wow, how many dispensaries are getting raided in Toronto?
3 men are facing charges after large quantities of cannabis products were taken during break-ins at dispensaries in Toronto.
Yeah, in a news release issued Friday, police said that between January the 2nd and February the 27th, 3 men broke into multiple dispensaries in the northwest area of the city.
So investigators have since executed search warrants and seized the cannabis products.
Yes, 3 people have been arrested. Let's see, a 25-year-old, 24-year-old. Let's see, Brian La Cruz, Edward Marcinis, and Enrico Charles Woodley, all of Toronto, have been charged for breaking into these places.
They each face 15 counts of break and enter, 14 counts of disguise with intent, 15 counts of possession of breaking with instruments, and possession of property obtained by crime. Ooh, look at all those.
Disguised with intent. That must be, they must have entered in with masks,
They must have
the
had
face
that.
coverings and stuff, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's all the stuff.
Ooh,
There's a
look
bunch
at
of
all
stuff that we
that.
got.
So look, it doesn't look like any of that's open. Maybe I'm not seeing it properly, but it looks like it's not been opened. Will they give it back to them? I hope.
I
They
don't
They
know.
won't just dispose of this. It's already been tested, right?
That's
They
a
don't
good
need to,
question. What is it?
right?
Yeah.
When they pull plants from illegal places, okay, well, it hasn't been tested, right? They have their rules, but all of this has been. They should give it back.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, check it and make sure it hasn't been tampered with. That might
Yep.
be their concern, where they might want to hold it back.
I hope not. That's
On
a
that end of
lot right
things.
there. Wow.
Yeah. Now, did we just mention high tide, or
Yeah.
something? Yeah. Okay. I don't. Is that these people here? High Ride Inc. acquires local cannabis stores, according to CKNS.
I think so. High Ride is different than High
Oh, High
Tide.
Ride, High Tide. Okay, right. Yes.
Yeah. In a release, High Ride has Incorporated says that it's purchased cannabis stores in Stratford, Hanover, Markdale, which is Woodstock, for a total of $2.5 million in Canadian.
Yeah, that's what, 4 stores for 2.5 million.
Yeah.
I thought it was even a little more than that, maybe, but I guess not.
I
The stores were previously operating under the Crossroads brand, which generated revenues of just over $7.5 billion last year.
Okay, so High Tide president and CEO Raj Grover says his brand has become the, quote, acquirer of choice in the Canadian retail cannabis space, allowing them to bring an innovative discount club model to communities which they have not been able to serve directly.
Oh. So would this be they're bringing in, basically, this is the bigger stores buying up the smaller stores?
I feel like it, and then now they're going to have a discount club because they'll have a chain, maybe?
Yeah.
Like,
Because there's
Shoppers
others that
Points?
have. Yeah, isn't there some others that have that? Like, I don't get into a lot of the stores, but I
I
believe that there are.
There are some that do some things, discounts and such, but I don't know about this. Like, I'm thinking of it like a points model, like with Shoppers Points or something like that, maybe, or Aeroplan where they get a points and I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? Well, Reverend Kelly, we're just flying through the stories this morning. I just see we've already done 5 already.
What?
It's break time.
Wow, we are fast.
Yeah. That's all I got left is 5. So I went, holy smokes, we are flying today. So let's take that commercial break. It's break time, as mentioned. Reverend Kelly and I'll be right back in about 4 minutes. You're watching the Reefer Reporters. We are live here on the Pace Facebook and YouTube pages. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own cannabis is easier than you think. Whether you're growing for recreational or medical purposes, BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. From the standard 4-plant recreational systems to the latest cutting-edge hydroponic equipment, BMA can customize your package and do it at discount prices. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and ask us for a free estimate. Or call 613-967-9888 and we will give you an estimate over the phone.
The only way to go.
Hi folks, Scott from stpattiesday.com here, and we're absolutely stoked to tell you about our brand new program called Pass the Peace Pipe and our partnership with Legacy 420 out of Tyndonega. We are absolutely proud to be partners with these people. They are an amazing group that have helped so many people with their amazing cannabis medicinal products. And we are working together to gather funds to build the first ever Indigenous specific opioid addiction center here in the Bay of Quinte area on Tyndonega land. So we need your help. We need you to repost this video and go to our GoFundMe campaign, because on this October 17th, St. Fatty's Day, we are going to be starting the campaign where we pass the peace pipe from one side of the country to another to unite our country, to gather awareness, but most importantly, funds to build opioid addiction centers across the nation, one build at a time.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to save the VCBC at gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. And you're watching the Reefer Reporters, and we are back from a medication break, and we're live here on YouTube as well as on Facebook, but we're also podcasted afterwards at paceradio.net. Well, Reverend Kelly, we got 5 stories still to cover. Did you see that new little clip in there I got done for the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club?
Yes, I did see that. And I like how you can write checks to their lawyer's office and you can send an email transfer to help them as well. So important. They're the longest running dispensary in our country.
Yeah. And, the 8,500 patients, what
wow.
What are they to do?
That's right. Right.
So, so it's good to see he's going to challenge this. He wants to go to court.
Good.
And that obviously takes money. I think he mentioned they got like a $50,000 goal that they're trying to get to. And they were somewhere around halfway the last time.
Okay. We need to help them.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Let's get on with the news. And our next story, we're heading down south into the U.S. now. And there's a bit of a strange incident going on there. That is because the U.S. Senate candidate Gary Chambers visits Drive-Thru cannabis dispensary in follow-up to the blunt smoking ad. Did you want to?
Yeah, I love this, but when I posted it on my group page, I got in trouble. They sent me a message and said, you cannot post this. I don't think they like Gary. They don't like Gary.
That's not.
This is not the first time I've heard this. Poor Gary gets banned a lot. He's the Democratic candidate, and he's running for a U.S. Senate seat in Louisiana, and he continues to make cannabis a centerpiece of his campaign, emphasizing the drug war's disproportionate you know that word, harm on Black people, and working to remove the stigma for cannabis use generally.
Yeah, back in January, Gary Chambers went viral with a campaign of featuring himself sitting in a leather-bound armchair and smoking a cigar-sized blunt. And on Thursday, he followed that up by posting a video of himself visiting a drive-through cannabis retailer near Chicago. So I'm going to scroll back here, and there's that situation where he says, "I'm running for the Senate." Yeah. He's got a big blunt in his hand. And he's sitting in that leather chair.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Everything that he's doing is just remarkable and incredible. So he says, "I'm in Illinois, and this is a drive-through dispensary." He's the Senate candidate. He says that in a video. He says, "You can pull up and get your grass without ever getting out of your car." Look at him. I love it so much.
There he is. Yeah. Chambers has been unapologetic about his enjoyment of cannabis, a trait still rare in elected officials, despite many lawmakers' open acknowledgement of alcohol use. Presumably, the difference is due to the fear that cannabis is a political liability. Although a supermajority of American voters consistently support legalization in national polls, and 58% of respondents said in a recent YouGov survey that they would be willing to vote for a candidate who occasionally smokes cannabis in their free time. Yes, Kelly, it can become a political liability, can it?
Okay, so when he put that video out, his opponent put a video out, and it was a guy, I'm going to try to say this in the best way I can, of white culture, who you would see in the South with his cowboy hat, and he was calling cannabis the devil lettuce. That's the devil's lettuce.
No.
You don't want that devil's lettuce around. Just exactly like, I couldn't believe I was watching it in 2022. And he was putting this poor Gary down.
That guy's 100 years behind the times.
He was 100 years old too. He's a 100-year-old man for sure. And just that said devil's anyway. So Chambers' viral videos pivot on a similar paradox around cannabis. On one hand, admitting to current use is still widely treated as taboo, which no doubt helps drive use. On the other hand, as Chambers alludes to at the end of his latest video at the Drive-Thru, the industry is now more or less mainstream in much of the country. He calls it business. It's business, baby.
Exactly.
It is. Billions of dollars.
It is.
It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not. And that's what I told our local council. She has to get to know this scary guy. A long-standing social justice advocate in Baton Rouge, who's previously ran unsuccessfully for a U.S. House seat, Chambers, a Democrat, is now vying to unseat incumbent Senator John Kennedy. Kennedy hasn't sponsored cannabis-related legislation since entering office in 2017, despite increasing GOP support for legalization in Congress.
Yeah. It's Chambers' January campaign ad titled 37 Seconds is a reference to research finding that the police in U.S. on an average make one cannabis-related arrest every 37 seconds. So, but however long we've been doing this article for, talking for 2 minutes, four arrests. Four arrests
already. Exactly. The article goes on to say here that I'm just trying to see where the quote comes from. It'll be from Chambers himself. Black people are 4 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis laws than white people. States waste $3.7 billion enforcing cannabis laws every year. Most of the people police are arresting aren't dealers, but rather people with small amounts of cannabis, just like me.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that he's championing this. So Louisiana's governor, Democrat John Bell Edwards, wagged his finger. I think this was the guy. Wagged his finger at the move. The imagery of actually smoking marijuana on the internet ad, the governor said, is not something that people should reward him for. I think that was the guy. What's his name? John Bell Edwards. I think he's the one who said devil's lettuce. I think he is.
Like what? Hey, he's
what?
Yeah, he's trying to break that stigma, all that, and patients, people, access, all that.
Yeah. I can't even believe it.
Yeah. He also backs, let's say, in a press release accompanying the earlier video, Chambers says he's supportive of the harnessing opportunities by pursuing Expungement Act, which is the HOPE Act, a congressional bill introduced by bipartisan lawmakers in December that would incentivize states and local governments to expunge criminal records in their jurisdiction.
Wonderful. He also backs the Secure and Fair Enforcement Banking Act, a separate bipartisan bill to protect financial institutions that serve as state legal cannabis businesses. State legal cannabis businesses. The legislation has cleared the House in some form 6 times, but has consistently been stalled by the Senate.
Six times. Six, like, I think, is that more than Mexico?
Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. They're on par for sure.
They're on par for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Wow.
The other Democratic challenger in the race is Luke Mixon. He's a white moderate. He told the Baton Rouge-based newspaper, The Advocate, in January that he has never smoked cannabis. The paper reported that in the aftermath of Chambers' video, Mixon had been forgotten for the moment.
Chambers isn't the first person running for Congress who's been open about flouting federal cannabis prohibition.
No, Anthony Clark, an Illinois candidate who ran an unsuccessful primary challenge against the Democratic congressional incumbent in 2020, made waves after he smoked cannabis in a campaign ad while discussing his personal experience with cannabis and the need for federal reform. He also hosted that he called the first ever congressional weed party in a campaign video. That guy's obviously.
I like it. Also, that you're a Democratic candidate for a House seat to represent Oregon, frequently discussed consuming and cultivating cannabis herself.
Yep. A sitting member of Congress has never publicly smoked cannabis, but several lawmakers have visited cannabis farms, companies, and state legal dispensaries. Rep. James Comer bought CBD oil products he uses to a committee hearing in 2019. So the guy brought it into the meeting.
Little bits of progress here and there, it seems.
Yeah.
Washington State Governor Jay Inslee said in 2019 that while he doesn't smoke cannabis, I do grow it legally. A spokesperson later clarified that he was referring broadly to legal cultivation in the state. Come on.
I don't use cannabis, but I grow it.
Oh my God, you guys.
Hey.
See, Gary has the cojones. He has he's coming forward. These guys are like, well, I just think it's okay to do it a little bit, or, I don't inhale. But this guy's like fully blunt on video saying, come on, right? What's going on? I love Gary. I love Gary.
Maybe he grows it because he grows these things. He grows other plants, other vegetables, right? And then maybe Kelly, he's going to go here. He's going to put it into a fair in LA. According to the LA Times, they say in the editorial, are state fairs officials high? They should not reward super potent cannabis. Well, maybe this guy is going to grow his cannabis and enter it into a local fair.
Maybe. It's making its debut at the California State Fair in July, taking its place among Chardonnays, craft brews, tomato salsas, pickled peppers, and Satsuma marmalades as a product of the state's agricultural bounty.
Don't expect to see contest judges getting stoned in a booth behind the popcorn and the piglets, though. Cannabis will be judged in a highly scientific competition, with licensed growers sending their cannabis to a lab that's analyzed the plant for several chemical compounds associated with flavor and aroma, as well as mental and physical effects. Growers are submitting samples through the end of the month, and in May, gold and silver medals and trophies will be awarded in 11 categories.
It sounds like a cup to me. That sounds like a cannabis cup, Al.
Yeah, I know, but there's the one step there that I see is it's going to be tested by an outsourced lab.
Not consumed?
There is something there about effect in the latter part of the thing I saw that I read off there. But there was something that we had locally within here in Ontario where there was a fair that was wanting to bring cannabis in, and it was sort of on display. But I think having it available for people to see on display, but having it also tested so people can see the results is a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. And so nice to see this happening in California, considered an agricultural crop at this fair.
Correct, exactly.
That's how it should be, right?
And that's
they
what
had
it
it
is.
in British Columbia. Remember, I brought it to my fair board here, and
Yes,
they were
you did.
very concerned about it being on display. No, don't put it out there.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
it may seem surprising that a plant still categorized as an illegal drug by the federal government is featured at a state sanctioned event, but California voters made cannabis legal for adults in 2016. So it's reasonable for cannabis farmers to showcase their goods at the state's annual agricultural celebration, of course.
Of course. What isn't reasonable is a contest category that recognizes that pot with the highest concentration of the acid form of THC, the ingredient that produces a high that is smoked, vaped, baked, and otherwise heated. Health officials are raising alarms, and the state fair's board of directors ought to listen to them. All right. I know further down the story they're gonna explain this, but they're obviously missing something there.
Yeah.
Right? Because as they say, they're testing the highest concentration of acid form of THC.
Right.
All right, continue.
Right. THCA.
Correct.
Right. So pot sold in flower form today is already much more potent than it was decades ago. Average THC concentration shot out from about 4% in 1995 to, yeah, remember that old stuff, to 17% in 2017. Now, some cannabis products like extracts and oils can be made even more concentrated, even though they're not included in the state fair. Meanwhile, research shows that the use of super potent cannabis is associated with problems such as psychosis, anxiety, and vomiting. The mental health risks are especially high for teens and young adults whose brains are still forming.
Isn't it interesting that things like CBD within cannabis can help with psychosis, anxiety, and vomiting?
All of them, every one of them.
Yeah. The potential danger of powerful cannabis was the main reason the legislative analyst's office recommended that California tax legal cannabis based on its potency. A higher tax on the more potent cannabis products could discourage harmful use. The nonpartisan analyst argued lawmakers never acted on the suggestion.
Okay, so now state officials seem to be going even further by tactily encouraging legal growers to boost THC content in their cannabis plants. Winners of the state fair's cannabis awards will get increased publicity, special logos to put on packaging, and social media promotion.
Yeah, when you go to a car show,
Yeah.
you judge cars. You
Yeah.
don't know how fast that they go.
What do you mean?
I just you.
Oh, you don't know how fast they go. Yeah. No, you don't. No, you
yeah.
don't.
You
Just
can have
looking
a
at the
really
look of
nice.
them.
Yeah. You can have a really nice car. That doesn't mean it goes fast. But yeah. Well. It's just it doesn't make sense to take out that category, especially when they're not even talking about it as a euphoric end of it.
Yeah.
Right?
They're being mean here. They're just
Yeah, exactly.
nitpicking.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens. You think
It's
they'll
good
do
to
it?
see that it's happening. I actually
Correct.
I'm gonna probably look at Skunk's pages, Skunk down there with Julie, and see, because
Right.
they're gonna have some involvement if there's something,
Yes.
some coverage or something. So I'm gonna look down there for sure.
Yeah, and who
It's really
knows?
cool.
Maybe help get it. Maybe she'll get some samples in there at that fair.
Yeah. She judges a lot of these cups, so I
Yeah.
wonder if she has any involvement in this.
Yeah, we'll have
Look,
to reach
we'll
out
find
to
out.
her and find out for
Yep.
sure. All right, next up, we got Hawaii. Medical cannabis dispensaries soon can sell gummies and brownies, according to MJ Daily. Soon? What do you mean soon?
I'm now going on vacation in Hawaii for sure.
There you
They're
go.
poised to expand medical cannabis dispensaries products offering with addition of popular edibles such as gummies and brownies.
Why weren't they offered before? We'll find out, maybe. The pivot comes under newly released industry interim rules from the Hawaii Health Department, which announced in a news release it had updated a range of regulations, including
Permitting the sale of new edible products, including gummies, hard molded confections made primarily from sugar or syrup, chocolates, cookies, brownies, honey, beverages, powdered beverage mixes or beverage additives, syrup beverages mixes, or beverage additives.
that would sound like our legalization 2.0
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Updated manufacturing practices and quality control requirements, as well as new lab testing rules, were implemented.
A new prohibition on hemp product sales by licensed medical cannabis businesses that also but also an allowance that hemp ingredients may be used as an ingredient in a manufactured cannabis product.
The move comes almost 2 years after the Hawaii legislature legalized cannabis edibles.
So they reference this as a medical dispensary.
Right.
So these are medical dispensaries that people are going into. So maybe you have to have a medical license to use them?
Probably, yeah. Their things are licensed as a medical. Their program is medical program. Right? We have a medical program, but we don't have medical stores here.
So that somebody could. So it couldn't be for tourists. It would have to be for patients with.
Well,
you would
yeah, they may require their own state ID. Like I know back in the days of dispensaries in Toronto and stuff. If you had a license and you showed that you were registered with somebody else, you could, that shows that you've already passed that.
Yeah,
and I did that in Michigan.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
The requirements. Now, the new rules went into effect February 24th, which means new edible sales can begin as quickly as the state's 18 vertically integrated MMJ licensees can have them on the shelves.
Yeah, however, the rules are still interim, so they could change further. Oh, wow. Let's hope they don't change back.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. They're going to remain into effect until July 2025, or finalized regulations are adopted by the Hawaii Health Department.
Yeah. So there you go. Hawaii, you got gummies, you got brownies going along.
Yeah.
Be responsible with them.
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
I feel like they would be flavored in pineapples.
Hey, maybe.
I don't know why I think that.
Pineapple gummies? Sounds good. All right. Well, we're off to, I think we're heading overseas.
Yep.
Yes. We're heading to Morocco, where Morocco allows cannabis cultivation, but only in the northern regions.
That's so strange. Growing cannabis for medical and industrial purposes, it is now allowed in Morocco, but only in 3 northern states and under strict control by authorities.
Yeah, I wonder why. During a weekly cabinet meeting Thursday, Interior Minister Abdullah Lafette presented and adopted a draft decree amending parts of the country's cannabis law.
Now, the law was adopted last August and established a regulatory body. It allows farming, export, and sale of cannabis for.
Oh, I think Reverend Kelly's frozen.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Oh, dear.
You're back.
Oh, dear. I'm going to reread that.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
The law. I don't know where I was. The law was adopted last August and established a regulatory body. It allows farming, export, and sale of cannabis for industrial and medical purposes, but prohibits adult use.
What? The new decree assigns the National Agency for the legalization of cannabis-related activities the task of supporting applicants and facilitating administrative procedures in close coordination with all stakeholders, government spokesperson, according to the government spokesperson.
But the legislation has strict geographic requirements. The regions that will be allowed to grow and use cannabis include Al Hoceima, Chef Kawaken, Donant, and Teo Onatai. I have no idea, Al. Sorry about that. And the possibility of adding other provinces, depending on the demand from national and international investors.
You get an A for effort.
Thank you so much.
The decree establishes requirements for licenses and asks for monthly reports on the inflow, outflow, and stock of seeds, plants, and products. It also requires an annual inventory report for each nursery.
So the measure also authorizes government officials in agriculture, health, and trade sectors to make decisions regarding licensees, processes for cultivation, production, processing, manufacturing, transportation, and export.
Yep, Morocco is the world's top producer of illicit cannabis, according to a 2019 report from the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime. So they're trying, they bring that into the legal market, I guess.
What? The top producer of illicit, is that because it's the Moroccan hash?
Maybe. It could be.
Moroccan hash going legal.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. I didn't know they were the world's top producer.
Well, sort of like Colombia, other countries too, that, they were big producers when they were, when cannabis was illegal everywhere. So
Yeah.
now they're bringing that all into the fold, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And for our last news story of the day, we're going to head to Israel.
Okay.
Because, people might think that it's legal in Israel because a lot of research that we see over here in North America comes out of Israel, but it's not legal. And here you go. Headline says Israel is poised to legalize recreational cannabis use.
That's right. The Israeli government is considering decriminalizing recreational cannabis use and expunging the criminal records of those convicted of personal possession or use of cannabis. Presidents Isaac Herzog and Justice Minister Gideon Sa'ar announced Sunday.
Yeah, on approval of the new regulations, those with recreational use convictions would be able to submit a request to have their records voided, while those with pending criminal proceedings will be able to contact the police with requests to drop the charges. Hey, that's different. There we go. It's a subscription. Oh.
Yeah.
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 So
I just saw that. But it's good to see that they are allowing, they're going to legalize recreational use in Israel. And they're going to get people, unfortunately, this is sort of the part where Canada comes in similar, where we are required to go in and request a change. Whereas in the U.S., they're just writing that off in a law.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting to see. Of course, that's where the endocannabinoid system was discovered. And we just assumed that it would be legal there in Israel.
Yeah, it's not, though.
So much research.
Yeah, there is.
I'm so glad to see this.
Yeah, it's good to see. Exactly. Well, what's up with the lounge this week? We never even got in that discussion before the show. We went right into the news here. The local news.
That's okay. We've got some really good stuff coming up. So we're right now we're in this sort of transition period of coming out of the pandemic and reopening. And so we've got a spring launch happening the March 19th, 20 weekend. We're going to do our first nug swap that we've done in a while. Yeah, maybe you can come down. I'll give you the details once we figure out what time and what day we're doing it. So that's a really big one. We've opened up in sort of this members only area, which I'm sitting in right now. So that's where we'll have the nug swap. We're going to do an online dating that weekend as well, the dating show, which we did before, and it worked out so well. It's really funny. So
I see the people commenting on there. Yeah, they said they had a hoot with the last one.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. So we'll be posting about that soon. And I'm launching a new show, a new Spiritual Sunday show coming up on Sunday nights, which is going to kick off March 20th. And it's live and interactive and lots of good things. And you're the first person I've told. Publicly, this is the first time that it's been announced. I wanted to give you the scoop.
Yeah,
of course,
right.
This is the Reefer Reporters.
Yes, yeah. When you did one once before, did you not?
Yes.
When you were just radio.
Right. No, we've done some Spiritual Sundays. We've done seshing in church. We've done a lot around the cannabis spirituality movement. But now this one's going to be a little bit more mainstream and a little bit bigger.
Good.
That's all I'm going to tell you right now. But you did get the scoop.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for doing that. We appreciate it. Good stuff. All right. Other than that, I guess that's it. We're done our stories from the Legacy420.com news desk. And for our buds at BMA Hydroponics, Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions. You can find them at drbuckcts.com. Legacy420.com, the Calvin Lifestyle Shop. And that's our Reef Report for March the 7th, 2022. And as we close the show, we'd like to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, share with your neighbors and your enemies. Plus, don't forget, you can always catch the podcast at paceradio.net. And do not educate, medicate, or incarcerate. Bye-bye. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Poised Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at poisedradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Poised Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at poisedradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Poised Radio Network here at poisedradio.net.